everyone. Welcome to your weekly practice. As usual, this practice is one that I share that is, what's really alive for me in this moment. And it's not a planned sequence necessarily, but more of an opportunity for us to really access the wisdom of our bodies. And for me, what's present and alive is that I find that this time with the world where it's at right now is that we can get a lot into our minds, and there's a lot of stories and ideas and judgments and perceptions and fears that are creating a kind of a stormy, unpredictable place inside the mind. And what I feel is the most helpful to me in these times is to get into my body. My body is a place that holds great intelligence and wisdom. And I think for each of us, this is the greatest teacher. And in order to be a student of this great teacher that is our body, which holds such wisdom, we have to really learn how to listen. And so that's my practice, and what I offer today for all of us is to be able to drop the awareness from the chaos that can be swimming around in the mind, and really drop down into the heart, drop even deeper down into the body, and just learn to listen. And we can listen through silence, we can listen through movement, we can listen through the breath, and we can listen in stillness. So let's see what happens. Amir, my beloved, is on the computer right now. I think he just popped the playlist into the comments. He's nodding yes. So I'll have some music on in the background, which is from my Spotify playlist. And if you want that music a little bit louder in your own home, then just head to the link right now. I'll give you a minute or so to do that, so that you can have that in the background for you.
Start.
No, I'll just give a minute.
Just do this.
And the comments are open, and so if there's ever, Amir might stay on there for the next 5-10 minutes or so, so if there's any technical things, just type it into the comments and we'll get to this. Then if you are ready for your practice, then come onto the mat or feel the earth. And just lean yourself forward and then lean yourself back a few times so that you can feel your sitting bones really connect with the earth underneath you. Almost like you're sitting in a rocking chair right now. And then go side to side a little bit, left to right, so that you can find the side edges of the sitting bones. And then just let that rocking come to a still point so that you're seated in a way where the edges of your sitting bones feel connected to the earth. And from that base, you can grow your spine tall. Relax your hands onto your knees or your thighs in a way that you don't have to think about them too much. And then soften your lips and let there be a sweet and gentle part of your upper and your lower lips so that that releases your jaw. While maintaining presence in your spine, see how much you can soften within the structure of your body. And begin to receive your breaths. Take one breath that is deeper than the ones that came before. So your full inhale expands your entire body from your bones all the way to your skin. And at the fullness of the inhale, just pause for a moment. And then open your mouth and exhale a sound as you release your breath. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, full body breath in, expand. And then as you exhale, out with a sound and give your body a little shake. And one more time, inhale, full body breath in. And a full body shake as you exhale. And then bring both your hands to touch in the center of your heart. Lift your heart and bow your head. And let this practice today be an invitation for you to tune in more deeply into the way that your body speaks and what it longs for. And let my guidance be an invitation where you can start to listen more deeply and follow the flow and the rhythm of your own movements. And so when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll cue up the playlist and hit play in 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. And then lower your right fingertips to the floor, walk them all the way out to the side. And ground your left sit bone into the earth, and then open up through your rib cage and through your lungs. Turn your nose up towards your elbow so that it softens the skin behind your neck. Good, and then on your next in-breath, come back up to center, both arms sweep up high. And then exhale, lower your left hand down on the floor, curl over to the left side. Ground your right sit bone down into the earth. Turn your nose up towards your elbow. A few breaths as you soften the skin behind your neck. And then with your next inhale, come back up to center. And then switch sides again. Walk out to the right side. This time we'll just do one breath, one movement. So as you inhale, come back up towards the center. And then exhale, tip the other way. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale out through your mouth as you release. Inhale back up through center. And then exhale, tip over the other side. And then inhale, come back up to center. And then exhale, draw your hands forward, clasp your palms, and then release your breath, round your spine, roll onto the backs of the sitting bones. Inhale, rock to the fronts of your sitting bones, draw your hands towards your heart, lift your head. And then exhale, press away, round your spine. And your inhale, draw energy in towards your heart space. And then exhale, release and empty. Okay, last one, inhale, draw energy towards your heart. Exhale, curl your spine, round back. Keep your hands clasped. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Then as you exhale, you can do a little shake. So let your wrist shake, let your fingertips shake, your head, your bum, your belly. And then let that go. All right, we're gonna come up onto your feet right now. And just so that you know, I have a bit of an arm strain thing on my right side. So I'm gonna do a lot off my wrists, but if you need to throw in, if you want to throw in a vinyasa here and there, you're welcome to. Otherwise, stand with your feet wider than your hips. Turn your heels in and your toes out. And then bend your knees and take your hands onto the insides of the knees. And now hug your knees and your fingers towards each other so that that starts to engage the inner thighs. And draw your arms up towards the sky. Clasp your hands, release your index fingers and your thumbs. And then we'll stay steady with breath here. If you want a little balance challenge, you can lift one heel up or both heels up. And as the heels and the ankles begin to quiver, see if you can anchor your tailbone right down to the space between your heels so that there is an energetic sense of grounding that goes from your sit bones into the earth. And drop your heels. Inhale, stand tall, reach your arms up. And then take your arms up to the side. Turn your left foot in so that the toes face the front of the mat. Turn your right toes out. We'll set up for triangle pose, Trikonasana. So make your legs super strong, engage your quads, and then tip over so that your right hand goes onto your shin. So even if you can touch the floor, I encourage you to be on your shin right now. And then press your shin forward into your hand, and press your hand back into your shin so that you're not locking out through the knee joint. Okay, take your top arm, bend at your elbow, take your hand behind your skull, and then lift your heart, take your head slightly back. Now, from the center point of your pelvis, really reach down through your legs, down through the big toe mounds, down through the heels, so that you're fully connected into earth. On your next inhale, come back up with your arms, bend your front knee. You can lengthen your stance a bit if you need to for Virabhajasana 2, Warrior 2 variation. And take your back hand onto your thigh, flip your top arm, and arc back. And so if we're leading with our head, what often happens is we crank the head back, we lift the chin, and then you can hear it in my voice, you strain the back of your neck. So instead, dip your chin down towards your chest first. Feel the length and space that's created behind your neck, and then turn your nose up from there. And we'll stay here for 2 breaths. And then your next inhale, and come back up to Warrior 2 pose. Turn your toes in, and then switch sides. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Set your feet, left toes turn forward, right toes turn towards the front. Place your left hand onto your shin. And then press your shin actively so that your knee even bends a little bit. Press it into your hand, press your hand back into your shin. Lift your quadricep muscle on the left leg, and then reach up. Now bend your top elbow, take your hand behind your skull. Soften your chin in towards your chest so it creates length in the back of your neck. And then once you establish the length, then turn your heart forwards and up for a little back bend. Stay plugged in from your sitting bones all the way down to your legs. And then inhale, come back up to stand, bend your front knee. Shift your stance a little bit longer if you want. And the right hand onto your back thigh, arc back for Exalted Warrior. Find that place where it's not so much your chin or your mind that's leading the way, but lift up from your heart, curl your head back, and at the same time, anchor from your body at the pelvis all the way down into your feet. Then on your next inhale, come back up to center, Warrior 2, turn your toes forward. And then clasp your hands behind your back, stretch your arms to straight, and then bow forwards into wide-legged forward fold or Prasarita Padottanasana. Let your head and your neck release. Take 2 more breaths here. You stay grounded in the feet. As you inhale, come back up just halfway and pause with your spine parallel to the ground. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to stand. And turn your heels in towards you. Reach your arms out to the side, bend your knees. All right, bend your elbows to goddess pose, and then lift your heel up on your left toes, or your left heel. Come onto your left toes, lift your left heel. Okay, if that feels all right, we're gonna do a little twist. So right elbow towards the left knee. And as you inhale, come back up to center, drop your left heel, lift your right heel, and then little twist, left elbow to right knee. Inhale, come back to center, switch sides, drop your right heel, lift your left, and a little twist. Your next inhale, come back to center, drop the heel. Exhale, right heel lifts, a little twist. We'll do that a few more times. So as you inhale, movement back to center. Exhale, heel lift, twist. In breath, center, and then exhale, a little twist. Good, in breath. You're gonna move a little bit faster, exhale, twist. Fiery breath, inhale, exhale, twist. In breath, exhale, twist. To center, Little twist. In-breath center. Good, last one, exhale, twist. Well done. Inhale, come back to center, ground your feet, lift your arms, lift your heart. And then exhale, turn your toes towards the center, heel toe them back into Tadasana. Release your hands to your heart. Relax your hands inside your body, give your body a little bit of a shake. Okay, so I've been incorporating a lot of shaking into my practices because it's one of the best ways to move stagnation and energy. So we're gonna give us a minute or two to just really shake out the body. Often stagnation gets held in our joints. They're like the intersections of the body. And so let your hands shake, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. Let your head go, let your head shake. Let your knees bounce. Let your belly be soft and let go. Make sure that you bend your knees so that your bum sticks back. It's kind of a funny thing, but we hold a lot of tension in our bum. Actually, that's where the root chakra is. And the shadow motion of the root chakra is fear. And so you want to let the energy of your bum move and shake. Good, big breath in. Full exhale out. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, full breath in. Exhale out. And last one, reach your arms up towards the sky. Keep on shaking. And then exhale, let it all go. Good, and then pause in stillness with your feet wide. Relax your arms for a moment. Just feel the vibration and the echo of that movement. Continuing to work and dance, flush its way through your body. Okay, next inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, hinge and fold forwards here. Come up onto your tippy toes and then turn your heels in towards each other, your toes out at about 45 degrees. Now, if you've got knee stuff going on, you might not want to do the full squat. You can pause here with the support of your hands. Otherwise, bend your knees really fully and then stay up onto your toes if you can. You're going to sweep your right arm in front of your shin and then anchor your knee and your forearm and your upper arm together and lift your left arm up to the side. So dip your chin a little bit. We're going to work the same concept. So lengthen the back of your neck and then twist open to the side. For a few more breaths, if you want to do a bind in the twist, then drop your heels, wrap your right arm in front of the shin, and then catch your hands behind your back or beside your hip. Lean into your leg, open your heart. And then release your hands. Put your fingertips to the floor. Straighten your legs relatively, and then hang and fold. Hold your hands onto opposite elbows, and then sway your bum, sway your head, sway your spine. Okay, keep your knees a little bit bent. Root your tailbone towards the floor, so it's like you're doing a little scoop forwards of your pelvis. And with that anchoring, come on back to stand. Keep your hands near your elbows, lift them up towards the sky. Okay, release your hands. We'll switch sides. Turn your toes out again, heels turn in. Lift your heels up. That's an option. And then bend your knees a little bit lower. If you need to adjust your stance so that you can come down and make it work, do that. And then crawl your left fingertips off to the side. Take your right hand to your right knee. Lean your upper arm, your knee together, and then twist. Stay soft in your ribs. Stay soft in your chin. And then start to turn yourself open so that the left chest begins to open out to the right. If you want to do the bind, then drop your heels. And take your right hand and let it meet your left beside your left hip. Okay, and then release your fingertips to the floor. Straighten your legs, turn your toes forward. And then bend your knees deeply, sweep your arms up beside your ears for Utkatasana or chair pose. And back to those little twists as you exhale, hands to prayer, left elbow towards your right knee. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, make your spine long. Exhale, right elbow towards your left knee. And then inhale, arms go forwards. Exhale, left elbow, right knee. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, little twist. We'll do that 3 more times to either side. Inhale, forward. Exhale, little twist. And if you're going with my breath, 1 more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, little twist. And breath comes center. And then exhale, little twist. Good. Inhale, come to center, straighten your legs, lift your arms up. Exhale, little shake, release your hands. Okay, now place your right foot directly underneath your right knee. Bend your left knee, and then grab a hold of the inside of your foot. Take your right hand to your heart. We'll move into Natarajasana or dancer's pose. Take just a little bit of a bend into your right knee so that your bum can stick back a little bit. And then start to kick your left shin, left foot into your left hand as you arc back. Now, as you extend your spine forward, lift up with your heart. Press your heart up into your hand. And then raise your right arm up towards the sky. Ooh. A few breaths.
I could imagine souls and complicated actions, so it could also have a beauty. I mean, it's not just.
And then your next inhale, come back up to center, release your feet. We'll switch sides, left foot underneath your knee, bend your right foot, or right knee, hold your foot. Left hand to your heart. And once you establish grounding from your pelvis down towards the earth, kick your right foot into your right hand. From your navel, lift up to your heart. From your heart, lift up to your skull. If you want to extend your left arm, go ahead, but make sure that the lift comes from your sternum. Then with your next inhale, come back up to center. And exhale, release your feet, release your arms. Give your full body a shake. All right, good. Now stand at the top of your mat. Have your feet facing forward and your heels underneath your sit bones. On your next in-breath, reach your arms way up towards the sky. Then exhale, cascade down and fold. On your next in-breath, lift up halfway. Then your exhale, step your left foot back, place your knee down onto the floor. Then as you inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. We'll move through a little flow right now from low lunge into a hamstring stretch. But here's what I'm working with today that I'll invite you to do the same, is this feeling of anchoring from the center of your pelvis. So if you were to draw a line from the front and the back of your pelvis into the center, and then side to the center, right in the core of your pelvis, that's the intersection. So from that center core, root down, straight down into the earth between your heels. And maintain that quality of connection energetically, physically as we flow. So once you've established that, reach your arms up towards the sky. You can even do a little bit of a back bend and let your hips come forwards. And then on your next exhale, keep your arms up and keep your heel down, toes lift. Then release your hands towards the floor, bow. And your next inhale, Roll to the sole of your right foot. Inhale, lift your arms up, curl. And then as you exhale, keep your core toned. Reach your sitting bones back. Exhale. Your in-breath, come forwards, arc back. And then your exhale, sit bones back. Release to the earth. Do that twice more to the rhythm of your own breath. Remember to keep that anchoring from your pelvis straight down to the earth, even as you move. And then pause on your next exhale as you stretch out through your hamstring muscle. And when your next inhale comes, roll onto the front of your right foot, or sorry, the sole of your right foot. Walk your left fingertips off to the side, right hand to your right knee. And then bend your left knee. You can keep it here, or you can reach your arm back to grab a hold of your foot. And then just as we've done before, kick your foot back, open up through your heart, open up through your lungs. And make sure that you're leading with your body, not your head. Curl back into a back bend. And for those of you who feel quite spacious here, you can always lower down onto your left arm, forearm as well, and grab a hold of your foot. And in poses where sensation tends to be heightened, that's an opportunity for you to really do your work, to practice staying in observation, to practice staying in listening. A few more breaths. And gently let go of your back foot, and then place your hands to either side of your front foot. Lift your back knee, come onto the toes. And then as you exhale, straighten your right leg as best you can. You can always take your hands onto blocks if you wish. And then lower your left heel towards the floor. It may or may not touch. It's a big calf stretch, at least for me it is. And then squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other so it tones your legs. Hug your outer right hip in towards the center. And then as you inhale, maintain that stability. Anchor your tailbone towards the floor. Lift your arms up to the sky. Okay, and then we'll do a twist, revolved triangle pose. So stick your bum way back. Take your right hand onto your shin for now, just to make sure that you're not hyperextending through your knee. Press your shin forward into your hand back into your knee. And then lower left fingertips to the floor. Right hand to your heart, and then twist towards your right side. Keep your inner thighs squeezing in towards each other, bum slightly lifted. Reach your right arm up. A few breaths. And then as you exhale, release your hands to the floor. Step your right foot back into high plank, and if you want to do a vinyasa, then go ahead. Otherwise, straight back into dog pose. And then let your head go in this dog pose. Shake your head, shake your neck. Release a big breath through your mouth. Then we'll switch sides. So step your left foot forward. This time, place your right knee down onto the floor. And then take your hands to your front thigh. We'll set the center of your pelvis again. So this is another little trick. Stick your butt back so that you create some curve in your low spine. And then scoop, not a full tuck, like a half tuck your tailbone towards the floor so that that creates stability in your pelvis and in your hips. And then evenly glide forward with both sides. So you don't want to be floppy in this one. You want to maintain structure. Then your next inhale, you can reach your arms up. We'll float between this pose and hamstring stretch. So as you exhale, tone your core body, draw into your heel, release your fingertips to the floor. Then your next inhale, shift your leg forward, lift your arms up. Exhale, stability in your core as you drop your fingertips down. We'll do that a few times, so move with the rhythm of your own breath. We'll do 2 more flows. And then pause on your next exhale into the hamstring stretch. Let your sit bones reach back. Soften your head, soften your neck. And these possibilities when the movement stops is for you to really sink in into present moment sensation. Not creating sensation for sensation's sake, but just really listening, observing to what your body is speaking. And walk your hands forwards. You can do this one with your right palm onto the floor or right forearm onto the ground. Walk your left toes out, turn them out a little bit, and then bend your back knee. Reach your arm back, grab a hold of your foot, and then draw your shoulder back. Make sure that you are connected from your pelvis to your belly button. Belly button zips up towards your heart, and then you take your head back. Lots of length in the back of your neck. Sometimes it helps to close your eyes so that that sensory organ isn't a distraction. Drop into your breath for a few more moments. Just take a few moments to gently release your back foot and place your hands onto the ground. Walk your left foot in so that your hands are on either side of that foot. Lift your back knee up. And then start to straighten your front leg. I like to do this one with the sole of my foot fully onto the ground so that I can reach my right heel back. For me, my heel doesn't fully touch the floor when the toes are just very slightly turned out, which is fine because my calves can use a good stretch. And now keep the base, but then squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other. So it's almost like the energy between your thighs is centering right at the root chakra, right at your perineum. Draw that energy up towards your navel, and then from the steadiness of your core, extend your arms up. Lift up higher onto your back tippy toes. Then we'll go for the twist. So making sure that your front knee is not hyperextended. Extend your spine long, lower your right fingertips to the floor. And then where your left hand is onto your heart, twist. Then if it feels good to extend your top arm, go for it. Otherwise, keep it onto your heart. Soft chin, long neck, soft eyes. Good, and then on your exhale, release your hands to the floor. We're gonna do a different transition this time. Slide your right ankle behind the left ankle. Hug your knees in towards each other, let them be a little bit bent. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Clasp onto opposite forearms or opposite elbows, and I'm just gonna turn forward so that I'm speaking in towards you. Scoop your tailbone down between your heels again so that tones your belly, and little dip towards your right side. I like to press the crown of my head up towards my forearms to find that length in my spine in this one. Okay, keep on anchoring feet, pelvis, belly. next in-breath. And then let that breath carry you back up towards the center. Good. Now, notice which hand is kind of the familiar hand that's on top right now, and then switch the clasp of your hands. And then swing your right foot forward so that it's now the front foot. Reposition your feet as you need. Scoop your tailbone down towards the floor, and then tip over to your left side. And press the crown of your head up towards your arms, spine length. And just let your breath find its pulse, find its rhythm inside your rib cage, inside your lungs, and anywhere else that it's traveling to. And take your time as you inhale, come back up to center, reach your arms up high. And as you exhale, release your hands, release your feet. And then just give your body a little shake, a little roll, anywhere that it wants to move. Let your next exhale be really empty. Okay. Now, let's take our feet wide, turn your toes out. We'll come down into a low squat, malasana, so bend your knees. And then we'll do this one a little bit differently. You're gonna wiggle your sit bones back, almost like you're inching them back. It's kind of a playful little movement. And then extend your fingertips long, walk them forwards. And then just let your chin reach towards your heart. Lengthen the back of your neck again. And then on your inhales, let them be full. Your exhales, part your lips and let out a as you exhale. So it's like a falling, surrendered exhale. And each time that you have that surrendered, falling exhale, let your body and your nervous system respond to that sense of grounding, of release, and let go. A few more breaths. Walk your fingertips back towards your body and behind so that you can sit down onto your sitting bones. And let's stretch our legs forward. Okay, so this next asana has a lot of different variations. And you can do it with your left knee bent, sole of the foot towards your right knee, so it's like a half butterfly pose. And then what we'll do is essentially this. I'll talk you through it, but this is one option. Or if that's too much, you hold onto your calf or behind the knee. The other option is to take your left leg into Virasana or half hero pose. And so you can bend your knee and have your heel beside your sit bone. If you're really lifted and kind of asymmetrical here, I recommend you sit on a prop. And if this is just too much for your knee or your ankle, go back to the first variation. If you're in this one, take a moment to press your hands down, lift your bum up, and then swing your bum back, and then lower it back down onto the ground. For the hamstring stretch, you'll bend your right knee, hold onto the outer edges of your right foot, and then bring your leg up towards straight. I like to give myself a little bit of a wiggle so that I can get the belly out of the way and the thighs kind of feeling more spacious. And feeling that quality of length within your spine, reaching both up and down towards the ground. Keep your chin soft, neck clone. And leading not from the head, trying to reach towards your foot, but allowing your body to moment breathe open. Let there be a little bit more lax in your right leg. Then take your left hand to the outside of your foot, your right fingertips behind you. As you inhale, press your foot and your hand together, lift up to your heart, and then twist. And then notice where you can soften within the structure of your body, where you can drop any complication of posture or breath from your mind right down into your heart, and then even deeper into your pelvis.
Drink you in and begin. Drink you in and begin.
Nice slow inhale to bring you back to center. And then take your right hand behind your right knee. We'll open your right knee out to the side. Just find a little bit more movement in the hips, some big circles. The hips love range of movement, and as Nora really loves to say, co-director of Inspired Yoga Institute, motion is lotion. So let that really move in your hip. Okay, and then last pose from here, sundial or compass. So take your right hand onto the ankle, and then take your left hand over the top of your right foot. And then you'll take your right arm underneath the knee and move the calf muscle out of the way, move it in, and kind of anchor it on top of your upper arm or on top of your shoulder. Right fingertips to the floor, and then reach your right sitting bone back down onto the earth. You can either stay here, or you can start to extend your right leg towards straight so that your foot is kicking up into your arm. Lean your right arm, your right thigh towards each other, big twist. Soften your ribs, soften your heart, soften your chin. Get a few breaths. Okay, and then release or bend your right knee. And let's just play with one thing. Let's see what happens. You're gonna place your right hand, flat palm down onto the floor, left hand onto the floor, and then we'll lift your bum up. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because my left knee is bent, so actually I'm gonna release the leg first, but then we'll move into an arm balance. So push your hands down, lift your bum up, tone your core, and then hook left foot or left ankle onto your right foot. And then if you want, you can straighten your legs out to the side, bend your elbows. A few breaths. And lower back down onto your bum. Okay, give your bum a little wiggle, your wrist a shake. Okay, and we'll switch sides. So right foot can be in half Baddha Konasana, or it can be in Hero's Pose Virasana. Make the adjustments so that you feel like you have both space as well as support. And then bend your left knee. Take the outer edges of your foot and then straighten your leg. Whatever your straight is. And let your elbows just bend out to the sides, draw your shoulder blades onto your back. We'll stay for about 10 breaths here, and so just every exhale, inviting your awareness to drop a little deeper into your body. The physical pose may or may not become deeper over time, it doesn't really matter. Can you deepen your awareness over time? Slowly inhale as you come back up. Take your right hand, cross it to the outside of your foot, left fingertips on the floor for a twist. Inhale, space in your spine. And exhale, twist. Then notice what's leading, head, heart, or body, and drop it down. Okay, follow your next in-breath back towards the center. Bend your knee. And then we'll do the hip opener. So you can take the knee out to the side and then hand on foot, hand on knee. Make some circles. If you ever need to adjust your bottom knee, like it's just not feeling so good bent anymore, you can always take it back out to the front. Okay, and then we'll move into sundial pose. So right hand over top of your left foot. Take your left thumb and just roll your calf muscle towards the inside. And start to hike your foot up, your upper arm as much as possible. Left palm on the floor, left sit bone towards the ground. And then stretch your leg, stretch your knee. Watch for any over-efforting that comes from the complicated mind and let that part go so that you can feel your body, you can feel your breath. The poses are always much more powerful if you allow your breath to open them rather than the mind. Okay, bend your extended leg and keep your leg up on the shoulder. And if you want to move into this playful arm balance, place your hands onto the floor. You may need to adjust your right leg for those of you in Hero's Pose. Press your palms down, lift your bum up, and then hook your right foot over top of the left. If you want to kick it out into Ashtavakrasana, extend your legs out to the side, bend your elbows, few breaths. And then easy way up. Drop your bum down towards the floor. And stretch your legs forward. Shake out your wrists. Shake out your shoulders. Okay, awesome. I think our time is almost at a close. So you can sit with your feet, one ankle in front of the other. Ground down onto your sitting bones and let your hands just rest onto your knees. Cultivate that quality of length in your spine. And at the same time, allow the energy of your back body to soften so that we take away that edge of rigidity that can sometimes be frozen or locked up in our body. We'll sit for a few moments and then also take some time in Shavasana after that. Just stay if you can. You know, sometimes in these moments, especially with online practices, the tendency can be to want to kind of move on to something else at this time, but this is important. This is the time that we practice for. So we find ourselves seated on the edges of your sitting bones. The energy at the core of your pelvis reaching down towards the earth. Your shoulders soft, chin soft, neck long. So that that freeway of energy between your pelvis, your body, your sexual organs, is deeply connected to the space of your heart. Your seat of love, empathy, compassion. And with that soft chin lowered and the length in your neck, there is a free way of connection between your heart and your head. And we sit. Amir, can you turn on this? And we take this time in precious silence so that we can become better listeners. Sometimes there's a bit of tension that is held even inside the ears. So if you can imagine it, soften the space within your ears. Soften the space within your skull. Soften the space between your eyes. And then, like a beautiful, gentle waterfall, let the energy in the space in the center of the skull begin to flush its way down the center channel of your spine so that it floods your heart. So that any tensions that are held within the heart space can dissolve. Drop it even lower into your pelvis so that that waterfall cascade-like energy starts to flush down, right down into the core of your pelvis, into your hips, into your pelvis, into your sexual organs, so that any tension that resides in this space can also be freed up. And then allow that energy to flush all the way down into the core of the earth. If there's a breath or two that is a bit deeper than the ones that came before, make space for that. And see if you can tap into that free wave of energy that goes right down through the center line of your body. The center line is called your Sushumna. It is the most potent freeway of energy, of life force that prana can flow through. If you wish to remain seated for the last few minutes of our time together, you're welcome to do that. And otherwise, set yourself up for Shavasana, relaxation on the ground. And quite often, the time of Shavasana, is common for us to just really want to fully let go of consciousness, of awareness and presence in this time. But I encourage you today to find a way where you can sit or lay very restfully, but at the same time not tune out, but tune in. Tune in and listen. And can you tune in a way that doesn't attach itself to any sensation or create a story from what you notice? Can you tune in a way that is simply listening? I'll come get you in a few moments. If you have time to stay a little while longer today, please, please, please do. You can either pause the video or just let it run its course and continue to rest and listen. And if it's time for you to bring your practice to a close, and those of you who are laying, take the next minute and in your own way, slowly awaken without losing awareness. Those of you who are seated, do the same. Continue to listen without a broken presence. And at the same time, start to become aware of your body in the space that you sit. And then we'll close together by drawing hands to heart in prayer. And humbly bow your head towards your heart. Lift your heart up towards your head, so that they greet each other. And thank you so much in sharing in this practice with me today, and I hope that it serves, and I hope that we can all bring a little bit more listening into our everyday. Sending so much love. Namaste. And so I'll hop on the comments for a little bit. If you have any questions or insights or comments or sharings that you'd like to make, it's always really beautiful to hear from the community and whoever is on the other side of the screen and in your places in the world sharing this practice together. So leave a comment if you feel called. And at Inspired Yoga Institute, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm on Wednesdays. You've got